Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news. Now folks, today we're diving into a story that's been buzzing around the NFL, more specifically in the AFC North. And trust me, it's not just another routine story. It's about a veteran quarterback who has been around the block, who's seen it all, and who's now raising serious questions about the Pittsburgh Steelers' offensive strategy. Yes, I'm talking about Aaron Rodgers. The Packers legend, the future Hall of Famer, who's now in a different phase of his career, but still has that keen eye for what's happening on the gridiron. Rodgers recently shared some insights that could have major implications for the Steelers as they look to fine-tune their offense and make a serious push for the playoffs. And who knows, maybe even another Super Bowl appearance. So what exactly did Rodgers say that's turning heads? Well, it's all about the targets, folks. If you've been watching the Steelers' offense, you've probably noticed that some of their most explosive players aren't getting the volume of targets you'd expect. And that's a big deal because in football, it's all about maximizing your star power. When a team has talent like they do, players like George Pickens, Diontae Johnson, and even their tight end, Pat Freiermuth, the goal is to get the ball into their hands as often as possible. But Rodgers points out that the current offensive scheme might not be doing that effectively. It's not just about throwing the ball randomly. It's about intelligent, strategic distribution, making sure your best players are involved in the game plan, especially in crucial moments. Now, imagine the impact of not targeting your key players enough. It not only stifles their individual performance, but can also undermine the entire offense's rhythm and unpredictability. The Steelers, under head coach Mike Tomlin, have always been known for their solid defense, but their offense has sometimes been a work in progress. Last season, they showed flashes of brilliance, but inconsistencies in their offensive game plan, especially in the passing game, have been evident. Rodgers, with his vast experience, is essentially highlighting that the Steelers need to rethink how they're integrating their offensive weapons. Because if they don't, they risk giving divisional rivals like the Baltimore Ravens or Cincinnati Bengals a chance to capitalize and pull ahead in the standings. And let's not forget, the Steelers' offense has some promising pieces. Diontae Johnson, who's been dealing with injuries but remains a dynamic playmaker, has the potential to be a primary target if utilized properly. George Pickens, with his incredible athleticism and ability to make contested catches, can be a game changer. Pat Freiermuth, as the go-to tight end, should see plenty of opportunities, especially in the red zone. But the question remains, are the coaches prioritizing these players enough? Are they designing plays that get these guys involved early and often? That's exactly what Rodgers is questioning, and it's a discussion that could shape the Steelers' season. Now, looking at the current state of the Steelers' offense, it's clear that there's room for improvement. They've had moments of brilliance, especially in their running game, which has been commendable with Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren. Both players have shown they can carry the load when called upon, but the passing game needs to be more dynamic and more targeted. The offensive line, which has been a mixed bag at times, needs to give quarterback Kenny Pickett enough time to execute plays that involve their key targets. And speaking of Pickett, he's still adjusting to the NFL, but he's got the arm talent and the vision to be a difference maker if the offensive scheme allows him to showcase what he can do. This brings us to the core issue Rodgers pointed out: the strategic approach. It's not just about throwing the ball, it's about creating opportunities for your stars. If the Steelers want to maximize their offensive potential, they need to be more intentional about who they target and when. For instance, in critical third-down situations, having a clear plan to get the ball to Pickens or Freiermuth could be the difference between a field goal and a touchdown. It's about creating rhythm, building confidence in your playmakers, and ensuring that defenses can't just key in on one aspect of your offense. Now, this is a crucial moment for the Steelers. The season is still in its early stages, but these discussions about offensive strategy are ongoing behind the scenes. The coaching staff must analyze whether their current approach is sustainable or if they need to make adjustments. Rodgers' comments serve as a wake-up call, A reminder that in the NFL, every play, every target, every decision counts. The Steelers have the talent, they just need to unlock it more effectively. And let's not forget, this isn't just about one game or one season. The AFC North is fiercely competitive right now, with teams like the Ravens and Bengals always pushing for supremacy. If the Steelers can optimize their offensive targets and play to their strengths, they could become serious contenders in the division. It's about consistency, about being unpredictable, and about making sure your best players are involved at the right moments. That's how you win championships, and that's what every Steelers fan dreams of, another shot at the Super Bowl. Now, some of you might be wondering, what does this mean for the upcoming games? Well, it means that we should keep an eye on how the Steelers' offensive coordinators respond. Will they adjust their game plan to involve players like Pickens and Freiermuth more? Will Kenny Pickett be given more freedom to read the field and make decisions that get his key targets involved? These are the questions that will determine the trajectory of this team over the coming weeks. Because if they can fix this targeting issue, if they can get their star players more involved, I truly believe they have the talent and the coaching to make a deep playoff run. And speaking of players, it's worth noting that the Steelers have a very balanced team on both sides of the ball. Their defense, led by Cameron Hayward, continues to be a formidable force, capable of turning the tide of any game. But today, we're focusing on the offense, because that's where the real potential lies. The offense is the engine that can drive this team to new heights, but only if it's running smoothly and everyone is pulling in the same direction. So, as we analyze this situation, it's clear that the Steelers need to embrace a more targeted, deliberate approach in their offensive game plan. They need to ensure their stars are getting their fair share of opportunities. It's about smart play calling, about understanding the strengths of your players, and about executing under pressure. The coaching staff has a chance to learn from this feedback and to make the necessary adjustments. Because, at the end of the day, the goal is simple: put the team in the best position to win, to dominate, and to bring home another Super Bowl trophy for the Steel City. Now, I want to emphasize again how important it is for Steelers fans to stay engaged, to keep vocal, and to support the team through thick and thin. This season is shaping up to be really interesting, and your passion and energy are what make the Steelers legendary. Remember, every game is a new opportunity, and the way the team responds to these challenges could define their entire season. So, let's rally behind Kenny Pickett, George Pickens, Pat Freiermuth, and the entire squad. Let's hope the coaching staff takes these insights seriously and makes the strategic adjustments needed to maximize their offensive potential. And of course, I'll be here every step of the way, bringing you the latest updates, analysis, and insider info about the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're in this together, and your support makes all the difference. So keep the faith, keep the passion alive, and let's see how this story unfolds. The Steelers have a talented roster, a proud history, and a dedicated fan base. This season could be something special if they play their cards right. The key is in the targets, in the strategy, and in making sure their stars shine brightest when it counts the most. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So in conclusion, the message from Rodgers is clear. The Steelers need to optimize their offensive targets and give their star players the opportunities they deserve. This is crucial if they want to achieve their ultimate goal of competing at the highest level, contending for playoff spots, and making a deep run in the postseason. The coaching staff has a responsibility to listen and adapt, because the clock is ticking. Every game counts, every target matters, and the Steelers have the talent to make a real statement this season. The key will be how well they implement these strategic adjustments, and whether they can create an offense that is both dynamic and unpredictable. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news. Keep supporting your team, stay passionate, and let's keep the Steel spirit alive. This season is far from over, and with the right adjustments, the Steelers can still make history once again. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.